How's it going? We started working together in 2022, 2023, 2023.
Yeah, we first met in 2022. Was actually started working on building systems out in 2023. Yeah.
Yes, I think 1st of April was the start of that. And
Hmm.
my memory serves me, just tell me if I'm wrong. 2022, you did about 6.5 million, and 2023, you did 11 to 12, something like that, ballpark.
Yeah, it was. We were right at 6.4 and then we just slightly more than doubled it.
Wow. And then what's happened in the last 12 months?
We grew by another 25%.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's almost 16.
Just a little over 16. Yeah.
Can I ask you a couple of questions about what was the original problem that you were trying to solve? What was the thing that
Too many, just way too many leads to follow up with them manually at the level that I knew they needed to be followed up with in order to maximize our ability to sell.
right?
It's just basic math. If you're dealing with 25 or 30 new leads every single week, it takes an average of 3 to 4 points of contact just to get them on the phone the first time. And then after the quote goes out, I was looking at it, averaging about 8 points of contact between initial lead and sale. And I was basically convinced that I was losing a lot of deals just because I wasn't making enough points of contact. I just didn't have enough time in my life to follow up with everybody like each individual lead actually deserved. So I was doing it 100% manual.
Yeah. And I think you had a little CRM system, but you were just basically using it as an address book mostly.
Yeah, we were using it, but we weren't doing any automations with it. We were literally just using it as an online address book, more to keep track of stuff.
We don't need to get into all the nitty gritty of everything, but we built the system out progressively. So now what you've ended up with is what I now am calling sort of the speed to lead piece, the initial response, the thing that you say 3 or 4 points of contact, get them on the phone. And then the way your sales process works is you want to drive them to call you or have a text you or make a time to be on the phone with them so you can understand their requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They're a good prospect. They figure out whether they want to have a quote, and then you give them a quote, or you call it an estimate. I forgot.
Yeah, we use both terms.
That's an internal process where you've got a QS sorting it out. You give them instruction and review it, peer review it, whatever. And when it's ready to go, and then put them in the next workflow, which is the quote follow-up.
Yeah, we had the quote follow-up workflow. Yep, that's where all the money's made. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And how are you? Just getting a sense of what your feeling is of how that works for you. What's the difference?
Oh,
before what you?
The single biggest difference is that all of the points of contact, other than the immediate telephone calls and in-person meetings, are almost completely automated. Sending out if I call and they don't answer, just click this button and the system sends them texts and emails. And then I try to call them again. The fact that the system sends out automated text messages and then they reply to that and it comes back to me, and then I can actually pick up and actually have a real live conversation with them in real time if they respond to one of the automated messages. It's from a business point of view, it's life-changing.
And then we've done some tactical promotions, but I think one of the things that, as seasoned salespeople, I just call it seasoned, and it's not old, but the money's and fortune's in the follow-up. And so we ended up with what between us, we call long-term follow-up. I could sometimes call the deep freeze. Then that we put all the leads that just didn't close, just didn't buy, just didn't respond, told us we were too expensive, going with a competitor, ghosted us completely. Everyone who didn't say unsubscribe me basically goes into that list. And we do a long-term follow-up where we send them things of value and interest and entertaining, and occasionally ask them, how's it going? I think we almost exclusively, it's not quite the right thing to say, but in 18 months, we might ask them, remind them that you've got a deal for them once or twice. Most of it's very low key, low pressure selling. And I just remember, I have this vivid memory. I don't know if you remember it, of the time where it was must have been on 6 months in or something, maybe 9 months in. You were driving something and you kept sending me messages saying, I can't believe it. I've just pulled over and sold another $200,000 of this. And eventually, when we spoke, you said you made 3 sales today to people you couldn't remember you made.
Yeah, that hasn't stopped happening. In fact, I had 3 people, and I haven't sold them yet, but 3 people just this week come back alive from long-term follow-up. I know you've been the one was, you're the only guy still talking to me, so I guess I'll buy from you. Now he hasn't signed yet. I'm going out to meet with him here next week, but, and yeah, 2 commercial jobs that have been sitting for the best part of a year. I think they're about ready to go. So yeah, I did 3 of them that just popped back just this week that look like we're gonna do some business.
If you close 1 or 2 of those out of 3, that's still amazing, right? I remember.
Yeah, for sure. The sale he wouldn't have gotten the sale that back in 2022, I definitely would not have gotten, because I was doing precisely 0 of that back then. I couldn't even keep up with the new leads coming in with the non-system way I was doing it just a couple of years ago.
So, thank you. It's been such a great journey. And along the way, we've done tactical promotions of this and that. Well, I won't get, you don't have to talk about all of those things. Some of those things have gone better than others. So Hail Mary went pretty well. We sent 8 out and got 3 sold or whatever it was. It was pretty stunning. But if you were to sum up working with sales follow-up, how's that been for you in terms of the outcomes that you're getting, the results you're getting?
A very steep learning curve for a old school redneck like myself, and well worth the effort to learn. It was eye-opening. The idea that such a thing even existed was like, I knew it had to be out there somewhere, but yeah, that such a thing even existed was, yeah, it was very much eye-opening.
And then results, how have they been for you financially in general?
We've increased sales from 6 million to 16 million over the course of 3.5 years. So I would say it's done its job. So
not a total failure, dude.
Not a total failure. No,
you didn't get to. I do recall you saying 50 was your target.
Yeah, we got a long way to go yet, but 50 is still the target.
I remember meeting you in that very busy Facebook group full of car salesmen and various other people, big group of salespeople. I remember you putting your hand up and saying, does anyone know of a CRM system that can send a text message that appears to come from my phone, my personal handset? And a good number of the people who replied to that told you stupid, that you couldn't do that. And then this dumb little Kiwi guy said, oh, I think we might be able to do that, just not the way you're imagining doing it. I think we could do that. Doing that with you was the first time I'd executed that. I've done something similar, but in this platform. And I think that's part of the secret sauce that we got to together.
The fact that the platform sends text messages and the clients can actually call that number back and it rings to my phone. Yeah,
and when they get a message and they get an email or they get a phone call to their phone, it's from you. They don't think of it as coming from anywhere else. There's a lot less sense of it's coming from a machine because they can't tell.
That's the whole idea. Obviously, we're required to put in that you can unsubscribe one time, but beyond that, yeah.
Another time, I'm going to make you a separate video. I know that you probably pulled up to home and ready to finish your day. It's the end of the day there. But I'll give you a summary of your stats, which probably you don't have in terms of what you've sent and done. And if I can find it in my notebook, I made a bit of a note, but I'll record you a video because I think it's just spectacular what you've achieved. Where's my little summary screen metrics? Bit of ages ago, I better find it, But I'll pull up the stats and show you on screen. I'll compare what you did in terms of messaging and texting. Here we go, stats. So I think I didn't actually write down the date, so I'll have to double check. But I think this was 2024. You sent 19,000 emails.
No way.
Yeah, 19,236 to be exact. And you, well, I don't know if it's, I have to double check. That might be all time. I'm feeling last year. And you said 26,000 texts.
I believe that.
You booked 223 appointments. And I know that you don't book appointments unless you go usually to go and sign a contract. So that's a sort of a signal that size of the deals you did last year. How many deals did you close last year as a count? 200?
About that, yeah.
So that sounds about right. Do you know you only had 15 cancelled appointments on the system all year?
I knew it was really low, yeah.
And I think that's partly because of the way you sell. It's the process. They're already closed and whatever. And it's
Right, because the appointments are only, yeah, I know that wouldn't be universal because the way I do my appointments, all the selling's done and they're just like asking when can we get together so they can give you the check. So that there's pretty much, and the majority of those cancellations were actually just reschedules, not actual cancellation. So,
But yeah. So anyway, I'm going to make a little summary of this for you because I think you find it interesting. And one of the other interesting stats is, I don't have it in front of me open, but in the long-term follow-up, I can't remember what day count we're up to now. I probably need to add some content. But I was looking at it a while ago and was over 450 days or something like that, more than a year anyway. So we have our initial 2 or 3 weeks of engagement and then they go into long-term follow-up if they don't close. 500 days later, the open rate on your emails is 40%.
that's amazing.
Yeah. And click rate, just of a particular email, for example. And the click rate was 2 or 3%, pretty good. And the what was it? No, that was the replies. I think it was 2 or 3%. And the clicks was maybe 5 or 6 or 7, something like that. Pretty spectacular results for a brand new campaign, let alone a 500-day-old campaign.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So,
And I think that's a testament to how together we developed the idea of what we'd send them and the frequency and the style and all that stuff. I think all of that.
and every single message sounds like it came personally from me and not from a robot. So
It's just as if you were having a cup of coffee and you said, "Hey, Barbara, you might find this barn building video funny." And that's a big difference. I still get the Morton and the FBI messages, and they're signed from nameless business development person, like not a person, sales departments. No one wants to buy from the sales department. Ren, I'm going to let you go. Thank you.
yep. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Take care.